This is the story of my family's journey to Australia. My family's story of migrating to Australia is a very new one. My parents only arrived in Australia in 2008. This is my parents just before they arrived in Australia. My parents are both from the UK. My mum is from Nottingham, which is right in the middle of England. This is what the town square of Nottingham looks like. My grandparents, my uncle, and my cousins all still live in Nottingham. According to my mum, Nottingham is famous for Robin Hood. The city also has what my mum thinks is the best soccer team, Nottingham Forest. My dad is from Guernsey, a small island. It is only about 78 square kilometres. It takes an hour on a plane to England or 5 hours on a ferry. My dad's whole family still lives there. My dad's family is originally from an even smaller island near Guernsey called Sark. Sark is even tinier than Guernsey. I visited there and there aren't any cars, only bikes or tractors. Only 500 people live on Sark, so my granddad must have been glad that his family moved to Guernsey. Guernsey was occupied by the Germans during the Second World War and lots of my dad's family were affected. My great-grandpa was evacuated and my great-great-grandpa spent some time in a prisoner of war concentration camp in Olney, which is another island near Guernsey. My parents were living together in London. They decided to leave London because they were fed up of living in such a busy city and wanted to have an adventure to see where they wanted to live. My dad was also fed up with his job as he worked for a big investment bank and had to be at his desk by 6 a.m. Did not leave until after 8 p.m. every day. My parents saved up their money and gave up their jobs and bought an around-the-world ticket. They travelled for a year before getting to Australia. They spent the first 3 months in South America learning Spanish and visiting Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Then they went to Southeast Asia for 6 months and travelled around Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. After that, they flew to Australia. When they first arrived, they couldn't believe how expensive everything was, even compared with London. They stayed in some horrible hostels for a while, like this one near King's Cross. Luckily, they had friends from England already living here, so they stayed with them. My mum got her first job in Australia with the Cancer Council, working on Australia's biggest morning tea. She really liked it but could only stay there for 6 months because she had a working holiday visa and could not work for any longer. It was harder for my dad to get a job because he works in finance and my parents arrived in Australia in 2008 during the financial crisis. He did manage to find a job eventually though. My parents never really thought they'd stay in Australia forever, but they were having lots of fun and had made a bunch of friends so they didn't want to leave. It was easy for them to fit in because they spoke the same language and in a lot of ways Australia is quite similar to the UK. Their visa lasted 1 year, so near the end of that year they decided to see if they could find a way to stay longer. They needed a company to sponsor them if they were going to stay. About 10 days before their deadline to go home, my mum got a job with Autism Spectrum Australia. Aspect sponsored them on a 4-year visa called a 457 skilled migrant visa. After 3 years, Aspect agreed to sponsor my mum for permanent residence, so 2012 was an important year for them. They got married and became permanent residents that year. When I was born in 2013, I became the first person in my family to ever become an Australian citizen because I was born here while my mum and dad were still permanent residents. This is me just after my parents' citizenship ceremony. My mum and dad became Australian citizens in 2014. They had to take an exam and do an English test. It would have been very embarrassing to fail as they are from England. I think my parents miss their family in the UK, but they love Australia, so will stay here for a while now.